Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series. Hope to get the Mid-South Wrestling Review Series mostly finished within the next week or so. Had some delays due to health issues. Please don't get sick this time of year, folks. Also had some delays due to business-related challenges and kind of getting things back under control after what, for everyone, has been a very interesting 2020 to say the very least. This is September 7th, 1985's version of the Mid-South Wrestling Series, and kind of dropping off here for a little bit, at least in my estimation, of what I enjoy. Akbar trusts that his team will win the tag team championships. His team, of course, is the team of One Man Gang and Kareem Muhammad. He's basically hyping the fact that he believes they're going to beat everybody. The new tag team champions, of course, Al Perez and Wendell Cooley, they respond to the challenge. They say they're ready to go. Not exactly a fan of this particular series of events. First of all, Kareem Muhammad just doesn't do it for me. To be completely honest, he's kind of a larger guy just for the sake of being a larger guy. I don't see much in the way he wrestles as being major money. Mid-South Tag title match is up next. One Man Gang and Kareem Muhammad against Al Perez and Wendell Cooley. From the lighting on the program, it feels as though this is a house show type of match. And of course, Akbar has been probably the most consistent manager in our, late 81 to 85, so almost 4-year history of Mid-South here. Obviously, Akbar trying to cheer his man on, shoves him off, and gets things going as quick as he can. Cooley gets forearmed, slides off the back of the one-man gang. Gang almost gets rolled up, misses an elbow drop along the way, and he's not happy with things there. Gang does the majority of his best work in the area around 86, 87 or so. Well, yeah, probably. Before he leaves for the WWF, Cooley comes over, hits a drop kick right under the chin. Rare bump for Kareem Muhammad. Muhammad's been relatively well protected at this point. Then the cutoff by the heels, pretty aggressive there. Eye rakes by the gang, and again, we see him go pretty aggressively into several shots there. Gang manages to tag off to Muhammad. Muhammad slows the match down with some front face lock stuff and, pinning attempts there. Gang sends the match back down to the canvas pretty effectively, efficiently, and again, One Man Gang manages to do the best he can, gets a kick off by Kareem Muhammad. Muhammad not willing to take a backward step by any stretch of the imagination, and ultimately, hard shot in the midsection, big body slam, and again, the one-man gang hits some hard shots, and hard shots again. There we go. Cooley kind of cleans house, not exactly making a lot of sense that he's, half the size of his adversaries, but is able to clean house for a little while. Big belly bump by Kareem Muhammad as One Man Gang holds him up. And I can't believe we're almost about third of the way through the show before this match is drawing to a close. Cooley takes the majority of punishment. I think they're protecting Al Perez. Perez, one of the guys that I really, really enjoyed quite a bit. Perez pulls his opponent out of the harm's way a little bit, and a miscommunication. Referee makes the count, and the champions hold on to the belts. A bit surprising there. Jake Roberts against the Nightmare. I didn't know that Roberts was still here at this point in 85. For some reason, I thought he left, but he doesn't leave until a little bit later. Obviously, the Nightmare, former North American champion, and that's a pretty big deal at the time. North American Championship, obviously, a big deal there. Roberts kind of bumps around for him, takes the arm, and goes to work on the arm. Deep arm drags from Ted Allen, a.k.a. the Nightmare, and Allen looks to be in really good shape. Stays on the arm of Jake Roberts for several minutes here and manages to do the best he can. And kind of the breakdown between them, Obviously, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, again, a manager that I don't really get a lot of. Wish there was more footage of Florida out there so I could understand people's draw to Humperdinck, because my interaction with him is only WWF, a little tiny bit of Florida, like as in clips, not full angles, and here in Mid South. So Humperdinck, not a guy that registers with me as a major guy. Anyway, the bear hug into the buckle sends Nightmare sends him, and again Roberts does the majority of selling here, as will he should in this particular match. What with the Nightmare being more of a power-based guy, cut off and several short jabs. Roberts amazing with the jabs. Nightmare held up by the top rope. Nightmare comes back, pokes the man in the eyes, and again Roberts comes back there with and then we see the loading of the mask. Nightmare manages to load the mask up, and again some headbutts there, and needless to say, finally Roberts is all but out. Eddie Gilbert on the outside, and again we see some communication amongst Roberts or amongst Humperdinck and his man Eddie Gilbert on the outside as well. Of course, the history between them is their DDT by Roberts. The fans on their feet, and Roberts gets a victory there. Roberts is a bit more of a babyface, although not as consistent as one. A special look at Lord Humongous in music video form. And then he goes on to face Mike Thorne, who is a enhancement talent, not exactly a huge one by any stretch compared to Humongous. Humongous with a back elbow, and again several shots, hard shots, almost looking like he's in kind of demolition related garb. Clothesline by Humongous. Humongous, lots of power moves, lots of aggression early, and it is clear that he uses the choke out to gain the victory. Mantell and Backlund versus, and that's Jimmy Backlund, of course, against Mark Reagan and Backlund and Reagan against Bill Dundee and Dutch Mantell. Dundee and Mantell, kind of partners, strange bedfellows as it were. Obviously, they're a regular team in the Memphis area. Reagan has been around, never really getting a major push, gets cut off. Dutch Mantell and Bill Dundee using every cheating aspect they can, also pulling hair and all of that. Kind of Dutch Mantell takes him down. Short cut off. Mantell allows a tag. Dundee and Backlund face off. Of course, Backlund later becomes Jimmy Del Rey of the Heavenly Bodies. Del Rey takes a good bit of punishment, including several elbow drops and shots by both Mantell and Dundee. Dundee cuts him off, and finally we see the team of Dundee and Mantell get a victory after Mantell hits the front face suplex drop spot. El Casario, otherwise known later as Savio Vega or TNT in Puerto Rico, facing Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Casario is now officially going to be managed by Skandor Akbar. If he wasn't already, I can't quite remember. I know that the team starts pretty consistently there. Casario, though, manages to do the board-breaking deal as a traditional martial artist. Eddie Gilbert, who always to me was a better heel than babyface, manages to do some babyface stuff here. Although I did enjoy his brief runs in the WWF 81-82 era, in the WWF. Anyway, hard nerve holds and referee basic stoppage. El Casario does a lot of damage to Gilbert for several minutes before we go to our main event. And they are given about 8 minutes or so. Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers, Dr. Death, and Bruiser Bob Sweetan, of course, the fantastic former multi-time Mid-South Tag Team Champions. They're back here for what seems to be probably about the third or fourth time in the era. Really have grown to love the Fantastics, mainly because I did not know as much as I should have about them at the time. Anyway, Dr. Death and Sweet Ann have been teaming due to the absence of Ted DiBiase, them not being tag team champions as much. Pretty big deal anyway. Fantastics clear the ring with some drop kicks, and then they go straight to work. Needless to say, Bruiser Bob Sweet Ann kind of keeps things going in a consistent variant, and Sweet Ann locks up. We see Tommy Rogers with some drop kicks. We see him continually going pretty, Fulton, that is, and Rogers. Rogers with the drop kicks on Sweet Ann. Sweet Ann, obviously a bit of a power guy. Dr. Death comes back through the ropes. He's looking for any advantage he can get, of course, of tag team champions in the absence of Ted DiBiase. Pretty big deal. Obviously, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, a major guy for the next several, probably decade and a half, all throughout the U.S. and Japan. Majority of his best work is in Japan, though. Doc, though, manages to cut the ring off on Bobby Fulton. Fulton takes a good bit of punishment for the next several minutes. I guess you'd say former, I believe at this point, tag team champions are pretty dominant. Oklahoma Stampede by Dr. Death, and he gets almost a drop fall there. However, somehow Fulton comes out the back door, and that's a bit of a surprise. Dr. Death misses the elbow drop. Anyway, a hot tag to his tag team in Rogers or his tag partner in Rogers, pretty big deal, and ultimately an Irish whip, and that's kind of where we go there. Again, we see Dr. Death, Steve Williams going right to town on everything there, and hard shots by Williams. Again, Irish whip reversal by Fulton. Fulton manages to kind of get a roll over, doesn't get all he wants out of it. Big drop kick under the chin by Tommy Rogers. Rogers back in legally, and all four guys in the ring. Chaos ensues. Needless to say, Fulton and Rogers are temporarily successful. They get a bit of a victory, and Dundee comes in, causes a distraction, but finally Dr. Death comes back with a huge lariat and gains a victory for his team at the very last minute after the communication lapse that was. That will be the close of today's particular program. We will continue more right after this. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Also, if you need coaching, go to Golden Opportunities Coaching, my other channel. Check out all the life, business, and relationship coaching there, as well as entertainment coaching, including for professional wrestlers. Till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.